think my streaming problem should be fixed. Hopefully. Yeah, there we go. That sounds much better. What's going on, YouTube? This is Zach. We just had some streaming issues with the microphone, so I apologize for that if you guys were just in the live stream and the audio quality was terrible. I fixed it. Turns out the USB where it was plugged in was a bad spot. It was very close to where the speakers were plugged in. I'm guessing that's probably why. So hopefully that's why. Otherwise, it's kind of funny that it was being stupid. Otherwise, everything's working pretty good now. So checking everything over here. Sound is good. So anyway, this live stream is about the command prompt, command line, whatever you guys want to call it. And we'll do a little bit of tech talk. We'll do a little bit of Ask Me Anything. And we'll see when the baby wakes up, because that always determines when, you know, when things kind of happen. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Now, give me a minute here, and we'll get things kicked off.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition, liftoff.
Alrighty. How you guys all doing today? I am doing much better now that I got things working, actually. That always makes me feel a lot better when I have things working. See, even a tech professional who's been in the industry for a very long time has issues, and sometimes you gotta fix them. So goes to show you, can't always be perfect, can't always set up everything correctly. So got my audio issues fixed and resolved. So again, apologies to anybody who joined previously and was annoyed with my terrible feedback and terrible noise, but we're good now. We're good. So anyway, today we're talking about the command prompt. If you guys don't know what the command prompt is, it's this little window right here. It's this cool window. And if you go to Start menu, or you could do like Windows key R, and this is actually on my other screen if I could pull it over. If you do Windows key R, you should be able to open up the command line by just typing in CMD. So you type CMD, hit OK, and it opens up the command line. So one thing to note about each of these right here, I typically like to run the command prompt as administrator when I'm doing administrative things. It's not a word, I know. But you'll see here, this command prompt right here says administrator, and this one does not. The administrator command prompt is just a little bit elevated, lets you do a little bit more things that the regular one won't let you do, so you can kind of run the different programs and things that this one won't let you do. And we'll kind of get into that at some point. We might not get into that in this live stream. We might. But I made a video, let's see, about 2 years ago, I think. And I talked about IT basics, and I talked about, let's see, I'm trying to find it right now. I talked about the command prompt. I showed some of the basics. I just want to pull up that video real quick. Here's the IT basics, where I talked about, you know, go learn some of the basics because they're really important. Here, I did 2 videos. I forgot. Here's command prompt basics 1. Here's command prompt basics 2. I'm putting these in the live chat right now. Basically, what I talked about in the basics videos is, you know, how to ping a computer, how to do trace route, how to find like the uptime of a computer, basic things like that. And again, those are very basic things, you know, how, let's see, like you could do IP config. This will tell you what the IP address of your computer is, what the default gateway is to the router that you're connected to, what the subnet is also, and then also tell you, oh wait, no, this one doesn't do that. This one will, if you do, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. IP config all, this will give you a lot more information. What I'm looking for here, there you go. This one will tell you your MAC address and things like that. So IP config all gives you just a lot more information. Again, these are basics that I have in the command prompt basics videos that I did. Again, these are things that everybody I think should check out if you're looking to get into IT. And again, keep in mind, if you guys are new to IT, looking to get into IT, that's what this channel is all about. So if this isn't something that you're interested in, you know, you can just kind of go to another video, go to another channel, because I am trying to help people who don't know what the basics are, who don't know what some of this stuff is, and really need to get kind of an understanding of what it is, why it's important, why they should use it. And they're not going to be using it all the time, by any means. You won't use the command prompt all the time, but there are times where, you know, you will use it. There will be times where you do need to use it. One cool thing about the command prompt that I like, you know, especially if you're in a business environment, I need to pull up over here. Let's see what I have connected, because I'm going to get an IP of something right now that's on my network. Say you're in your business environment and you need to know if a computer is up or a printer is up, and you should know either the name of the computer or the printer, or at least the IP address. Hopefully you know the IP address, one of the two. You can do this cool thing right here, ping, and if you know the IP address, here is my MacBook, 192.168.1.5. So pinging it is basically sending information back and forth. That's kind of like the basic terms of that. And if you want more detailed explanations of this, I highly suggest that you guys can go to like itpro.tv, you can go to like skillsoft.com, you can go to even Test Out. I see that Dana, the tech teacher, is here. Dana, the tech teacher, he actually works at Test Out over in the Utah, and he's a really, really smart guy. He used to live right here in town with me, and again, he's a really, really smart guy. Sad to see him go, but really, really happy for him that he's working at Test Out. And if you guys ever use Test Out, I think probably coming up in the next year or so, or this year, people will be using your courses. So that's really, really exciting. But anyway, pinging something, you're sending information back and forth through the command prompt, through the network. And if you ping something, like say, so I pinged my MacBook, the 192.168.1.5, that's my MacBook's IP address. If I knew that IP address and I pinged it and nothing came back, if I got no reply whatsoever, I would know that my MacBook is probably not connected to the network. You know, maybe something's wrong with the MacBook. Maybe I just need to reboot it and it'll connect back to the network. Something like that. You know, there's lots of scenarios where you may not be connected to the network, or whatever you're trying to ping is not connected to the network. So let's see, and I'll show you what it looks like if something's not connected to the network, what kind of reply you would get. You'd basically get nothing, you know. You'd get that, you know. It's going to say host unreachable, or there's another one that I can't think of off the top of my head, but that's pretty much what you get. So that's just kind of something to know, to keep in your head when you're troubleshooting things. It's always a good thing. I'm pretty sure I have that in one of the basics videos. But today, you know, I kind of wanted to talk about there's more advanced things that you guys can do in the command prompt. you know, one of the things that you can do in the command prompt that's really cool that I personally have used for like the last like 7 years or so, is creating batch files. And the reason why I use the command prompt, or have to use the command prompt, and actually use like Notepad, or you can use like Notepad++ or like Sublime Text or anything like that to write the batch files, is you can run executables through the command prompt. You know, you can install a program through the command prompt. And I talked about this in one of the live streams last week with Ninite. If you guys are unfamiliar with Ninite, I suggest you go out to ninite.com. I'll put that in the chat right now. Ninite.com. That's what I'm talking about. It basically, you go through a list and you select, you know, what you want. I might as well just go to the site and show you guys what I'm talking about. Ninite.com. So you go through this fancy list of all these apps that you could possibly want on your computer, and you check each and every one that you want. And I want to find something that I don't have. I think I actually don't have, where is it? I don't think I have that installed. I might not. Who knows? You select what you want, and you click on Get Installer, you hit Save, and then you run the Ninite install application. And I gotta bring this up over here. It actually does. I do have it installed. So, but anyway, it'll actually go through this whole install application completely silent. You have no idea what it's doing in the background other than installing that application for you, completely silent. And what I mean by silent is it's basically doing all the work from the command line, essentially. They might do it a different way, but I'll kind of show you how to do it through the command line, because if you guys ever use like Microsoft Deployment Toolkit, this is a great way to kind of package up your applications so they install silently through Microsoft Deployment Toolkit. Microsoft Deployment Toolkit is basically how you image computers. It's kind of like an enterprise solution to imaging computers. It's not quite as great as SCCM, but it's pretty much like on the same platform. SCCM is super lots of money, and there was only one organization that I worked at that actually had SCCM, and it was a school district of all places that, you know, had that. So what I need to do, and what I actually forgot to do over the weekend, was think of an application that we could try to install silently, and that's totally my bad. Totally my bad. So I need to kind of think of an application that I know that we could run fairly easily. It's quick download that we can install silently. I think 7-zip actually. I think I actually have it installed, but we'll go to 7-zip. 7-zip, we'll download it. Yeah, we'll just download the executable here. I'm just going to save this to my desktop. Move that over here so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. I'm going to create a new folder just so we can keep this structured somewhat. And I'm going to put the executable in there. I'm going to put my text document in there because that's going to come in handy. And here's my folder. I'm going to rename the application to just 7-zip. So basically, inside this folder, inside our 7-zip folder, we have our executable and we have a text document. And we're going to open up our text document. Everything keeps opening up on my main screen, which you guys can't see, and I have to move everything over, which sucks and is super terrible. What we're going to do is start writing a simple batch file that will try to install this application silently. And I think I already have this installed, so we're going to uninstall it real quick. But I know this one's a fairly easy one to install. we'll go through that process. So let's uninstall it. We can talk about how you can delete a folder through the command line later. All right. So again, this is more kind of advanced. I put in the chat, you know, I should probably put these in the description also. Let me do that real quick. I apologize. I'm gonna need a drink. My mouth is super dry. Here's command prompt. I'm just updating this real quick. Hang on, I'm sorry. Yeah, prompt basics 1. And hello to everybody if I have not said hello to you while I'm updating this. And prompt basics 2. All right, I just wanted to get that updated. Anyway. All right, so with our text document open, and again, you can have like Notepad++, Sublime Text, whatever. I'm just doing it through the through a text document because whatever, it don't matter. I'm not an elitist. I don't care what editor you use. You can use whatever you want. It don't matter. We're gonna do echo off. This is executable. So, being that we have this in a folder, we don't have to do anything fancy and do like a change directory and call for this executable from another directory. We're just going to be running that batch file from the same directory the executable is in. So you can do 7-zip .exe, and then we could do maybe an S. So now what I'm going to talk about right here is this whack S. And if you hear me say whack, it's just a slash. It's just like a term that we've used for forever. Whack is just a slash. Just a slash. So if you hear me say like whack whack, I know you'll probably laugh because I always laugh. It's just a guy thing. Sure, whatever. But slash, it's just whatever. But anyway, the /s or /qn, these things right here are called switches. And in the command line, that's what you'll refer to those as switches. So this /s or whack s, that is basically going to try to tell this executable, the 7zip.exe, to run it silently. That's what it's going to try to say. It's going to say, all right, do it silently. Okay. The QN is going to say, I think the QN one is also saying, run it with no user intervention. And I think I have this one. I think I kept this up just so I can refer back to it for you guys, because there's a lot of different switches, and you could do help. I don't know if it's going to have each and every one in there. Not in this one. There's QN, there's QB, there's just silent, there's V. I kept a few of them open, I thought. Not really. There's lots of different switches though for the command line. They all do something that's a little bit different, but these three specifically are going to try to basically tell this application to install silently, no user intervention. You know, I think the I can't remember. It's been a while. Hang on. I think QN. I think, yeah. Sorry, that's my bad. I should have looked that up more. But I think, anyway, one of these we'll try to install it where you don't even see the window at all. So it's just kind of like installing in the background. One will do it so you actually kind of see the window happening, like the little install progress window, and you don't have any intervention. It's just doing it for you. So again, this is just a quick kind of overview of it. So I'm just trying to give you guys, like, here's some basics. I know, I'm sorry. And then we could try to do this. It's actually been quite some time since I've wrote a batch file, so it's really funny that I'm doing this. I used to do this almost on the daily, and we could do like setup.bat. So basically right here, this should be enough, and if it's not, it's going to tell us. And basically we have to run it as an administrator, because if we don't, here we can say open. That came up on my other screen. Say open, it's coming up on my other screen. It actually has the window and everything here. So what happened is we have the command prompt that loaded from running the setup, and then we have the 7-zip install trying to run. So basically, for me seeing this, I know that one of my switches is bad. I know that one of my switches doesn't work, but we could try to run it as administrator and see if anything's different. And it looks like something is different, because the black command window came up and then it disappeared. So that tells me that one of the switches is still bad. I have to figure out which one it is. So we could maybe get rid of this one. Say okay. So save it. Run it as administrator. Nope, still the same thing. Try silent. So every command, every application that you guys try to install might have a different switch that you have to use. Not every application is going to have the same switch. They all could be completely different. That's really, really funny how that works. I'm keeping this open so that we can see if it does install. So even silent doesn't work. Let me just do QB. I hate that everything's going to my other window. It's driving me nuts. Yeah, still nothing. Just S. So basically, it's still coming up with this. So again, I know that still one of my switches is bad. Gotta figure out which one. Maybe we could do passive QB. Nope. Quiet even. There's that one. There's quiet. There's so many different switches. How would I fix the problem? There's so many different switches that we can go through to see if it's going to work. Like that's kind of the thing. And typically, I wouldn't even use an executable. I would just use I would use the MSI, because that's really completely different than trying to install an executable through the command line. MSIs are a little bit different. Sometimes they're easier, sometimes they're not. So it really depends. We'll see if this one works. Nope. Again, still just showing up with that. So maybe we can do. Yeah, that just throws it all off. So you can do man. Let's see. I think we did silent, we did quiet, silent, Q. Let's see. Nope, still doesn't like it. We could try to tell it what directory. See, man, it's been so long. C, we can just do C7 zip, and no. Live streaming. What are you doing?
Lunch?
I don't think that's gonna work either. Nope, that's not gonna work either. Huh? No.
You're alright.
All right. At this point, I think I would just grab the MSI because this is being annoying as hell. See if the MSI will act any different. Sometimes the executables just don't work correctly, which you'll run into a lot, and especially like a lot of the larger executables. But I'm surprised that the 7-zip one isn't working right. That one used to be like really easy.
Idiot Kennedy at 1.
All right, so let's talk about this real quick, since the executable was not working. The MSI is completely different. You can still do it through the command line. I'm super PO'd right now that the executable didn't work. But the MSI is just, it's packaged differently. The program is packaged differently. So in the command line, if you run this right here, this MSI exe.exe, this is basically saying extract this MSI as an executable and then install it. This switch right here /I means install. So install 7zip.msi. I can't even talk. And then we'll do passive and then QB. And we'll see if that works. We'll see if it makes any difference. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And yeah. So actually, yeah, it went through right there. So it installed it with the MSI, not a problem. But the executable does not work. So let's uninstall this one more time. Let me switch my screens here real quick so you guys can see this. Where'd that go? Shoot. So again, sometimes executables are dumb, but the MSI I think works probably like 99.9% of the time, which is great because that's what we want to happen. And the reason why we do this is especially because like imaging, if we package this up, we could throw this folder inside like MDT and have this as a task sequence, and during the imaging process it'll kick off this task sequence and install this executable or this program for you, and you're not touching it, you're not doing anything but creating this package one time. So it might not make sense right now, but we'll talk about that at a later time. And we just kind of want to talk about a little bit more advanced things that you can do in the command prompt. So we have this kicked off, or we have this ready. We wrote it out the way that it needs to be. It's going to install the 7zip.msi. It's going to do it silently. So if we hit setup, yes, it's really, really quick. 7zip is a super small program. So you can see now it gets added. So that's kind of all it takes to run a MSI through the command line. I have to try to think of another executable that I can run through the command line that we can try to install. But again, I kind of forgot to do that. That was my homework over the weekend. I completely forgot about that. So that's my bad. But that's more of an advanced thing that you could do in the command line. And just installing programs, creating batch files. There's lots of other things that you can do within the command prompt. And I want to show you this. Okay. So one of the things that, and I don't know if you've ever seen a file that ends in .bat. And back in the day, like way back in the day, I'm talking like circa like 90s, right? Having this and this like downloaded on your computer just randomly, like if you were downloading like an MP3 or you were downloading like some program, just seeing those two things sometimes was like the most terrifying thing in the entire world, because a lot of times just having this alone meant a lot of times there's going to be some kind of virus attached to it. And that's because you can do so much within one single batch file. You can have so many different things going on within one batch file. So, think back in like the late 90s, even like the early 2000s, somebody just installs or downloads something randomly, and it comes with, a batch file, and somewhere hidden there's executables or something. So much stuff could happen just with one batch file. So many weird things. And it was really funny, back in the day, just how much damage. I guess it's not really funny, but there's a lot of damage that could be caused just with the batch file. Even to this day, you could cause a lot of damage with one single batch file. So seeing it nowadays, you can know how to open it up without running it, because you can just right click on it and edit it, and that's really important. Every time I see a batch file now, I will, if I don't know what it is, if I've never seen it before, I'll right click on it and go to edit. And I'll never run it until I look through it and I'm seeing what it's doing, because I'm just paranoid like that. I want to know what it's doing. I want to know what it's accomplishing before I run it. And like at my last job, we had a lot of different batch files that of course did different things, like stopped and started like WSUS service on computers and different things like that. So again, there's lots of different things that that you can do with the command prompt and batch files. So, and of course, pretty much all of this stuff can be done through PowerShell. So this is kind of old school, but I mean, you can just simply pull up the command prompt really easy, really quick, and just kind of do anything that you need to really quickly. Oh, I forgot they changed that. They changed that command in Windows 10. You used to be able to do net statistics SRV, especially Windows 7, and it would tell you like the uptime of a computer. I haven't looked to see what the new one is for Windows 10. I just remember the last time I tried to do it, it wouldn't tell you the uptime. Maybe is it uptime? No. So that's annoying. But anyway, that was just kind of like a very rough, very sloppy overview of just more advanced things you can do in the command prompt. Again, I'm really PO'd that this executable didn't run, because it should have. But the MSI just ran just fine. So that's fine and dandy. It's perfect. It did what we wanted it to do. So anyway, if anybody has anything in chat, now's the time. I'm not going to go back through it because sometimes I miss stuff and then I feel bad. So if you guys have anything, now would be the time. Make that bigger. And we'll go to, there we go. How come you're home already?
Lunch?
Oh, you like just left for work.
Hours ago.
Oh.
2.5 hours ago.
Anyway, if you guys have questions, go ahead and ask now. Oh, hey, what's going on, James? I didn't even see you had joined the chat. Tips for navigating directories, as in keeping track of position when creating new nested files. I mean, not really. Honestly, no. I can't think of a great way. Do it. I mean, I don't have any tips, I guess. What way are you doing it now? Annoying JA reviews. When am I going to do CompTIA classes? Like, when am I going to talk more about them? When am I going to do more reviews about them? When am I going to give more tutorials about CompTIA classes? Will I do a tutorial on imaging a computer? Yeah, I'm hoping once I get some of the servers set up. I was just setting up one yesterday. Not yesterday, Friday. On Friday I was setting up a server. And I was recording a video for that. So it's just going to be a long process till I get to the point where I'm able to record videos on imaging computers. It's just going to it's going to be time, a lot of time before I get there, because I have to just go through the process of building the server, domain controller, Active Directory, group policy, then getting the other VMs and stuff ready. And then we can kind of talk about imaging. It'll be all MDT though. That's the only thing that I'll use really. And I've not done any bash scripting. I want to do Python. I'll probably talk about Python before I ever talk about Bash. Imaging computers are like formatting them. I mean, not really, no. I mean, you format a computer when you image it, but imaging a computer is a whole process. Yeah, for person, yeah. I have a A+ video coming up within like the next month or two. That's being worked out right now, the A+ video. So you'll see the A+ video for sure coming out. And then, I don't know, I'll have other things planned. I mean, here, let's see, you guys can look at this real quick. Here's a quick, like, here's all the crap I got to do. Like, here's all the stuff that I need to work on and figure out and all that fun stuff. So it's a long, lengthy process. There's, yeah, lots of stuff coming, and a lot of that stuff, like a lot of the more advanced stuff and things, will be James, I honestly, I don't know yet. It depends on who lets me, I guess, because I obviously can't go too much into their content, because then I'm like giving it away, you know. I'll reference them, of course, but I don't know. I want to say IT Pro TV. That's probably going to be the one. But, I have to be careful on what I'm putting out and what I'm making available to people, because again, like I said, I can't make everything too readily available from like IT Pro TV or Skillsoft if I'm like talking about content and stuff with them, and showing people some of the back ends of that stuff and all that, because I can't give away their stuff, and I also can't like go too crazy deep into the tutorial stuff when I'm competing. If I were to be like competing with their stuff, it'd be like a conflict of interest. So I'll go definitely very basic, do things a lot differently than they would, and then figure some different things out from there. I won't go into much more detail than that, but I have some things figured out and worked out on how I would do it. Then a lot of the stuff will be here too. The Patreon page. This is pretty much ready to go. I just haven't really advertised much of it. Pretty much about ready to just start kicking that off. This tier right here is the only thing that's holding me back a little bit, because I just started recording the content for that, for the last tier, for step-by-step tutorials. So And then a lot of it too will be like a more of a live stream type of thing. So definitely want to keep people involved, keep people interested, and keep people learning. But again, keep it at a basic level, and that's kind of what the Patreon says. It's all basic. You know, if you guys want more advanced stuff, there's plenty of people out there who's going to show you more advanced stuff. But there's not a lot of people out there that are going to show you the basics when you first get into IT. You know, when you first want to know, like, what's the basic thing that I'm going to need to know when I'm first getting that job in IT and all that. There's not a lot of people out there that have that, you know, that have that insight. You know, college may talk about it or whatnot, but I don't think they have that insight on what basics are really out there in the field. Yeah, this channel isn't about advanced stuff, unfortunately. I mean, we'll talk about advanced stuff, we'll do some advanced things, but exactly, James. I mean, that's kind of my idea. You know, once I start getting through the fundamentals, and I have nothing to work with fundamentals, you know, I'll start going into more in-depth courses. You know, but there's a lot of things that I want to learn, you know, that like I want to teach myself, you know, and Python's one of them. And I want that to be something that we essentially learn together, you know. So I'll be doing videos on myself learning that, and we kind of learn it together. Like that's something that, as a YouTube channel, as us, that, you know, we would learn together. Whoever would be interested in that, like that's what we would do together. So if there's going to be people who aren't interested in that, who want nothing to do with it, so there'll be that. But for people who are interested in that, like, that'll be fun. That'll be a cool thing to do. And then, you know, with the Patreon and stuff too, like, you know, I want to do like group stuff where, you know, people are doing stuff on IT Pro TV and Skillsoft and whatever other places, you know, we're using. If they're like going through a course or something and they want to talk about it, they want to, you know, I lost my train of thought here a little bit. But if they want to talk about some of the stuff they're going through in that week in their different course material, like, well, you know, we'll have a place for that, you know, because I think that's important to kind of bounce things off of each other, have multiple people doing it. And even if you're not using one of those or any of those, you know, programs like IT Pro TV or Skillsoft, you know, you're just on YouTube learning that stuff. Just, you know, you're trying to achieve your CCNA or one of your CompTIA certs or something like that. You know, it's kind of important to bounce some of the things that you might be having issues with or struggling with off of other people who are learning that same thing and are also trying to achieve those same certifications. You know, it's all about learning and growing, and I'm trying to help people learn and grow, and I want other people to help each other also. So, bye, love you.
You look moving around.
Okay. Yeah, boot loops are no fun. Definitely not any fun. But yeah, I mean, basics help you fix that. You know, if you don't know the basics, sometimes there's going to be a lot of things that you can't fix. There's going to be a lot of things that you can't troubleshoot. And a lot of times, you know, you might go out and you may decide, okay, like, you're 25 years old and you've never worked in IT in your life, and you decide, all right, I want to work in IT. I'm going to go out and get, you know, my Network Plus cert and my CCNA and my Security Plus cert or whatever, right? You have all these certs, right? Which is great, and you can go probably work in IT, right? You take all the time to study those great certifications, and you get those certifications, and then you start working in IT, but you lack the fundamentals, you lack the basics, you lack all those troubleshooting skills that, you know, a lot of people have, and those are really important. Like those types of skills are really, you know, honestly, they are like I say, the fundamentals of IT. You know, those are, as a sysadmin, you know, even as a network admin, like you have to sometimes go back to those basic troubleshooting skills. You just have to take yourself back to, all right, let me think about this at a level 1 point of view, you know, and sometimes that's what it takes. Instead of looking at it at the most complex, you know, way that you can look at it, the most complex error, and fixing it that way. Sometimes if you just take yourself back to, all right, I'm going to look at this at the most bottom basic solution, you know, error that I can look at it. Sometimes that's what it takes. Sometimes you fix it just looking at it that way, instead of, you know, that most complex thing that you can think of. You know, starting from that ground up is, it's fantastic. I don't know any other way to word that any better than that. And I'm having a really hard time struggling talking today because I have not eaten this morning or this afternoon, so I'm like totally like out of it at this point. Connor, you began learning Python on your Raspberry Pi over the summer, but you became preoccupied with other responsibilities and lost track of it. I enjoyed a fresh start, so I'll be looking forward to that content. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I really want to learn Python, like really, really bad. So I'm trying to get all the other things that I have lined up taken care of, figured out, so that I can start getting to the Python stuff, because that's important to me. You know, like I as a person, as somebody who works in IT, who loves IT, who just loves technology, like I want to challenge myself to something. And I've talked about this before in videos, like challenge yourself. Python for me would be a challenge, even though to me, like, it looks like one of the most basic languages out there that I've ever seen. It would still be a challenge to me because I hate programming. I hate it. I absolutely freaking hate it. But if I can just at least start somewhere at something that looks to be simple for me, I can at least get my feet wet and maybe go on to something different at some point. But it's really important that I challenge myself. I challenge my brain into learning something completely different that's outside of the normal, because I want that skill. I want that knowledge, and I always challenge everybody to that type of stuff. Because sometimes you forget to have them reboot first to try to make it harder than it is. Yeah, we always used to get on our help desks, like we used to give them a hard time, our help desk team at work, because they would like explain some kind of issue that was going on. You know, like, oh, like their Word document's not printing or something, or you know, whatever the case may be. And just by the sounds of it, it's like, okay, did you have them reboot? You know, and they'd always get so mad. You know, like, why do you always say that? I don't know, just have them reboot. And you would think after, like, you know, the 100th time that we've had them reboot their computers, like they would just reboot their computers, because I mean, honestly, probably like 80% of the time, like that fixes it. You know, when you're very familiar with some of these issues that are happening, and you can listen to that issue and know what's going on, you can say like, yeah, rebooting it'll fix it. You know, I would say like 85% of the time, just rebooting it fixes it. So, you know, when you're a senior tech, a sysadmin or something, and they're telling you reboot the computer, a lot of times they're telling you that because they're pretty confident that a reboot will fix it. It doesn't do it all the time, but most of the time, yeah, reboot will fix it for sure. James says a lot of IT related support is around the basics, even It's an advanced issue. Basic troubleshooting helps in discovering and fixing the problem. Knowing how to look for error codes is a key part. Yeah. I'm planning on doing another basics video, and we're going to talk about Event Viewer. Because Event Viewer is one of the most important things that I can really think of as far as troubleshooting at more advanced basics level, because you could have an issue that like you just have like no kind of idea what's going on with it and why it keeps erroring or whatnot, and you can look at the Event Viewer and you can see like, oh well, here's these logs on what's going on, at what point something's happening, and it may give you an error code, and you can look up that error code. And that's probably one of the most clutch things right there, is and when the Event Viewer actually gives you an error code that's of value, you can look it up, and if it does come back with a result, clutch right there. You might have to like run some kind of patch or run some kind of reg edit or something like that. Perfect. Event Viewer is good. So I have a video planned for that. Again, just trying to get all this stuff done is just like so funny to me now. I thought once that I was gonna be like quitting work and standing at home with the baby and doing this, that like I would be able to get all this stuff done, but it just does not work that way at all. And then the wife has a honey-do list. She literally wrote out a honey-do list for me today. Not even joking. It's like 7 things, like check, check, check. Literally with little check boxes. Like, do all these things. And I'm like, seriously? Like, you know that I got stuff to do today. Like, I gotta take care of a baby, and I got work to do. And I do more than just YouTube. Like, I have a photography business that I run. I've been editing a video for this business in town for like the last freaking like week and a half, 2 weeks. And it's due this Friday. So, anyway, now I'm just kind of ranting and raving. James says, anyone has Barnes & Noble in the area. In the magazine section, I picked up the latest Python manual. Publisher is Black Dog. iTech series costs $24 and makes a great addition. Awesome. Thank you, James, for your recommendation. You always have great recommendations. Even if Reboot doesn't fix it, puts the PC at known state. Yep. I always love reboots. Reboots just make me happy. Seriously. Honky, right? Well, yeah. Oh, good looking honky, right. Sorry. The text kind of blends together. What's going on, good looking honky? What's going on, Mafia Boy? Aziz Brown just found my channel. Just subscribe. Happy you just found my channel and you are live at the moment. Yeah. I won't be live for much longer, but yeah, I'm happy you found me also, and welcome aboard. William, yes, you're a bit late, but that's all right. No big deal. You're in the adult entertainment biz. You feel me. Well, you're in an adult entertainment biz. I hope you don't feel me. Just kidding. That's cool. I actually did some things in the adult entertainment business for a very long time. And no, I was not in any videos. So, won't talk about that. Yeah. Websites, way back in the day. How about that? There's a shocker for you guys. That was like so long ago. It was like forever ago. That was 18 years ago. No, it's actually what, 16 years ago. 16 years ago. I'm so old. I feel so old. Thank you, Ahmed. Greetings from Illinois. I'm from Illinois. The great state of Illinois. You just got Linux and started learning Python. Should I be doing much else to get into IT? It depends on what you want to do, Aziz. It really, really depends. There's a lot of different things that you could do. So if you want to work with Linux, then you're at a great starting point. You got to work with a fat woman. She actually brought her relatives. Crazy. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Anyways, I'm going to be ending this stream probably in the next few minutes here, actually. 'Cause I got to get some lunch. Didn't even freaking have breakfast. Not that I'm like going to wither away to nothing or anything, but yeah. I've been streaming for like an hour now, over an hour. You guys find with programming, you can learn the language, but not always sure what to build. Yeah, I always find with programming, I freaking hate it. So that's what I find with programming. I just can't stand it. What were my first IT jobs requiring? My first IT job was like 16 years ago also. So not much, did not require much at all, because IT was at a completely different, you know, state back then. Not anything like it is today. IT is a whole new ball game right now. So, it was kind of like easy-ish back then to get in. I think, in my opinion. I don't know. I could be wrong, but that's my opinion. Some people would disagree, but I'm old, so what do I think about hacking? I don't really think anything about it. Everybody always asks that. What do I think about hacking? Hack away. As long as it's not bad. Ethical hacking is totally fine. The government always needs that, I feel like. I'm happy to go into systems in the cloud. Sorry, just looking at something. Learn some programming to help with that, but not full-on programming. That makes sense. Yeah, makes sense. For sure, for sure, for sure. Is it cool? Is hacking cool? I don't know. I don't think it's going to make you cool. Thank you, Mysterious. I'm always going to try to keep up the great work, and it's really, really hard. The live stream today started out absolutely terrible. I'm having bad luck starting live streams lately. So, it's kind of crappy. But that's all right. I'm actually going to get going. And I do appreciate you guys joining this live stream, as always. And keeping up to date, communicating with me, commenting, asking questions. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for you guys, so I do appreciate you guys. If you guys have any other comments, questions, concerns, you guys know where to find me. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, email. I don't know. I'm everywhere. I feel like I'm all over the internet. It's savage, bro. Freaking savage, bro. It's every day, bro. Anyway, yeah, my kids watch too much of Jake Paul and Logan Paul. It's all I ever hear. Oh, it's savage. It's every day, bro. I don't know if you guys even know who those guys are. They're like the big YouTubers. But my kids are all about that stuff. It drives me insane. Anyway, I'm out for now. that's all I got for you guys. So we'll be doing another live stream tomorrow on the Tuesday, and then we'll be doing another live stream the day after that on the Wednesday, and the day after that on the Thursday, and the day after that on the Friday. And then hopefully I'll have some more videos pumped out. I know. Oh, actually, I didn't even get to talk about this. I don't even know why I completely forgot about it. I'm such a dummy. Such a dummy. Can't believe I forgot about this. Before I forget, as most of you probably know, if you guys have been paying attention. What's up, Ash Parker? Last Thursday, I did this really awesome interview with this person right here, Cherokee Boost from IT Pro TV. It's like a 37-minute interview, and I'm going to be breaking that down into a few different videos, and I'm really excited about it because it was a really good interview. She's really funny, and she provided a lot of great information, a lot of good stuff, and I know you guys will love it. You know, everybody on this channel is going to love it. Hopefully they'll watch it, so stay tuned for that because that's going to be really good. You failed your CompTIA 901 by one question, and you're feeling demotivated. Well, don't, because everybody fails at some point. Everybody fails at some point. I would never. I know, like right now, you feel freaking terrible, right? I completely get that, but don't. Like, everybody at some point just fails. I would look at it as the fact that, like, you, by one question, you missed it by one question. So next time you're studying, just study like one question harder. You know what I mean? There are tons of people out there, you know, who fail these exams and go out and lead like fantastic careers and do fantastic things. And there's people who you know, who just don't who don't, you know, pass them right away, and it happens. And I think like somebody, I forgot which YouTube guy I was watching that that failed their CCNA the first time they took it. I can't remember who it was. They failed their CCNA the first time they took it, and all they did was look at it as a learning experience, and that's what you have to do also. You just have to learn from it. It's not the end of the world. It feels terrible, but you know that you can do it. Just the fact that you missed it by one question means that you can do it. Like, I see that you can do that. One question it's one question, and you can do that. Every day, like, I wake up thinking like I'm gonna fail, but it makes me work harder. Like, I make myself work harder because I think I might fail today. It might happen, but I'm gonna work harder. I always want to work harder because I never want to fail, so I try to do better, you know. And that's all you have to do, is you just have to try to do better. And if you do fail, and like if I do fail, at least I know that I tried. And even though like you did fail today, you tried and you did a great job. And you shouldn't feel bad about it. Was it Duan that failed their CCNA the first time? I thought it was him. I wasn't sure. But at least you tried, and you tried really hard, and you did really good. But at some point, like, everybody fails at something, and you can't take it as a huge loss and a huge like thing to steer you away. You know, don't look at it as, you know, fuck my life. Sorry for bad words, but don't look at it that way. Just look at it as like, fuck this shit, I'm gonna pass it the next time I take it. That's how I would look at it. You know, I'm not everybody, but you know, my advice would be study one question harder. You know, that's it. That's all I can give to you. Don't look at it as a bad thing. Yeah, see, these tests are hard. Nobody said that they were easy. If somebody told you that any of these tests were easy, CompTIA, any of the ICND tests, any of the Microsoft tests, if anybody told you guys that these tests were easy, they're freaking lying. They are just absolutely freaking lying to you, because they're not easy. There's nothing easy about them. That's why you guys study hard for them, and you take the time to study for them. You take the practice exams for them. You know, make sure you're setting time aside for them to take to learn them, to learn what's on the exams. Of course, the next time you go back, the exam could be completely different, and it probably will be if you're going to the same testing center. Even if you don't go to the same testing center, the exam's going to be completely different. So be prepared for that. You know, it's just going to be different. It's not going to be the same. You know, so just study. You know, throw some earbuds in when you're doing mindless stuff and just listen to the stuff. You know, listen to Professor Messer. He just like goes through the stuff like crazy, like just one thing after another after another. You know, join IT Pro TV, and they have practice exams and all that fun stuff, and go through it. Do it. You can do it. Don't feel discouraged. You know, there's people right here in the chat that they're telling you that they failed, and don't be scared to take it. Don't be scared, bro. You got this. Everybody gets scared when they're taking tests. I get that, but you got this. Just go in there and just tell yourself you're gonna rock this shit. That's it. Just go in there and just be like, I am going to rock this shit. That's it. Even if you don't rock it, just try your hardest. That's all you can do. That's all you can ever do in your life, is try your hardest. As long as you know that you're trying your hardest, that's all that you can ever do. You know, that's all I ever ask of myself, is trying my hardest. That's all I can do. You know, as long as I know that I'm doing that, I can't say that if I fail, then I can't say that I failed for no reason. I say, oh, well, I didn't try hard enough. That's what I would tell myself. You know, well, I got to try harder next time. I didn't try hard enough. I screwed myself. You know, but I'm just like a complete jerk to myself sometimes. I can be a complete jerk to people sometimes, because sometimes like it's like reality. Like you just, like, some people just need reality, you know, like you just need that slap of reality. Like, I don't know. I'll get into talks about that one day. We'll have like a nice little reality talk where we talk about reality just slapping you in the face, and how great that is for you. How great it is to have reality just come and slap you across the face and wake you up. It's so good for you. It's so good when, like, your parents aren't, you know, giving you the cushion of every little thing in the entire world, or your friends aren't giving you their BS little answers and feedback and support, because they're your friends. And that happens. Friends are great for that reason. But it's also great to have a friend that's going to slap you across the face and just be like, no, you're a dumbass. You know, I'm that friend. I'm that friend who's going to tell you how it is, like it is, what it is. You know, everybody needs that. Everybody needs that. We'll talk about that one day. But I also, you know, want to encourage people to, don't get me wrong, but I'm not going to give anybody false hope. I'm not going to tell anybody fluff. I'm not going to blow smoke up your butt just for fun, because that's not going to get anybody through life. Smoke and mirrors gets people nowhere, and fluff gets people nowhere, and blowing smoke up people's asses gets people nowhere. So that's all I got for today. Think the baby's up. I'm gonna eat some lunch, and that's it. Stay tuned for the interview with Miss Cherokee Boos from the IT Pro TV. And if you guys don't know what IT Pro TV is, they are seriously, I feel like, the best training resource that you can use for e-learning, any IT related resource, and they have a ton of material there. Literally everything that you could pretty much think of. I feel like everything Cisco, CompTIA, Microsoft, EC Council. I mean, they got tons of stuff, and they're doing a lot of development stuff now, which is great for all you people who like development stuff. And don't forget, use the coupon code ITCQ30. That's ITCQ30, because you get 30% off. And then they see that I sent you, and then they're like, "Thank you, Zach, for sending people to our website. We appreciate you. We love you, Zach. You're so cool." And I love when they send me messages and tell me that fun stuff. It makes me feel all warm and gushy inside. So, yeah, better than Mike Myers by 1,000,000,000%. These guys are great. Seriously, 110% better than Mike Myers. Better than whatever dude's name is that I just talked to, Professor Messer. I need to eat. I can't freaking talk. Yeah, I love these guys. Hands down, one of the best. I've learned a lot from them, and I wouldn't suggest them if I didn't think they were great. So, anyway, that's all I got for you guys. Yeah, take it easy.